Welcome to Finally Friday. Hey, we got the one and only Antonice Strickland in the building.
Welcome back,
Welcome back.
It's glad to be back. I was still popping in the chat last week, though.
We
still
missed
your presence.
We saw. We also have the one and only Lynzee Mychael in the building. So I'm excited about this party.
Who are you? Right. You didn't even say who are you.
I don't
You don't
know.
even got a blazer on. I don't even know who you are.
Andre said no introduction needed. You don't have to. We have the one and only Mr. Andre Ash as well.
Your digital anchor in the building. You know, I'm still falling off that. Rip me out the plastic. I've been acting.
Obviously.
You came in with sneakers and a
Quite brand new.
I'm loving it. I'm proud of it.
I'm loving the vibes, and we got a great show today. Thanks so much for watching. Finally Friday on tap. We got James Moses Black, the actor and producer, as well for a lot of great quality films in Hollywood. We're gonna talk to him. The latest Netflix show on They Call
Tyrone. Did y'all watch it?
I did watch that. Was an amazing film.
Yeah.
I love a story with a great message, and that was one of them.
Even though it kind of threw me a little bit, but I appreciate it.
Yeah.
It was some dark humor.
Yeah,
they
it
was speaking nothing but facts. It was some dark humor.
Yeah. Well, we will definitely get into it. We got him coming up. Also, we have the one and only Jessica Care Moore.
Legend.
Yes,
Absolutely
internationally
legendary.
renowned poet, playwright, producer, and so much more.
All the things.
I want to be her when I grow up.
Look, we're over here. Can we just be
I'm
more
just
sister?
trying
Can we
to
just
be-
follow?
I need to, just be with her, spend some more time with her. She got the blueprint.
Absolutely. We also have 50 years of hip hop.
Man.
And it's the collaboration we are here for. Their family in the D. The one only Slum Village.
What? I'm so hyped.
And designer Rick Williams joins us in the studio coming up. So you don't want to miss that. A full top show we got y'all. So
Super Detroit, just super feel good entertainment. I'm on a natural high right now. You see,
She done brought
Let me tell you.
Oh,
Lynzee,
goodness.
Look, I thought I wasn't when I was.
Our music guru. So we'll talk to all these great people coming up in the show. But first, let's get to hot topics. A lot happening in the news.
It was a deep sigh.
I'm like, ooh, and you're like, huh.
A lot happening in the news, y'all. First, Lizzo. She's our girl, hometown, and she's been in the news lately for some controversial accusations and lawsuits by her former staff that accuse her of some fat shaming and also some
sexual
allegations
right?
as well. Now, Lynzo.
He wanted to be me so bad. He do these things.
No, absolutely not.
Someone's name.
When you start to pronounce,
We're
Lizzo.
definitely gonna do it. I'm trying to.
What her response? You see her response?
I did see her response. It was a lot of ramble. Producer made a good point, and I hate to bring her from the backside, but she made a good point about, obviously, I stand with anybody who is a victim if these allegations are true or whatever. But also at a point, we do have to look in the mirror and understand that the price of fame, like, you don't have to do these things. You don't have to be pressured into doing these things, and we have to have a little bit more self-worth for ourselves to be able to bow out and back away from certain situations. So I'm praying that these allegations are false. But if they are true, I hope that the victim, obviously find some type of justice. That's insanity.
Yeah. Interesting enough, if the allegations are true, of course, in this country, they say you're innocent until proven guilty. But if the allegations are true, it's the irony of her messaging that has gone out to talk about and promote body positivity. To talk about being pro-women, and to see that these are mostly women who have come out against her in the way that she has treated them in different settings on the job. Now, based on her response, and people are marking criticism for her response, that turns to PR guru, because in a situation like this, how would you tell a client how to respond to these type of allegations?
I mean, I'll have to. It's a lot of research that goes into like crafting certain responses. Because you got to work with lawyers, you got to work and make sure things are stated how they should be. But it's really just being clear and transparent. Like the biggest thing that you can do, regardless of an accusation or anything that's going on, is to really get the facts and make sure the facts are clear. So even if you are at fault, owning it. There's like, some people have bad reps with PR people. Like, we're not liars, and we're not going to tell people to lie. Like, there's never no ethical PR person is going to tell you to do that. Yeah. But the sooner that you can understand and know the facts and make sure people know about it, I really feel like she should own up if that's what it was.
But how much
it felt like she was like trying to, but she's like, and that's where the lawyer work, but it was like
that's where you bring the lawyers.
That's
in.
where the lawyers. Yeah. So like honestly, and it'll take a whole other show and episode for me to go down the rabbit hole of lawyers and PR people. But that brings that whole back and forth because sometimes in the legal system there are just things you can't say. Mm-hmm. Since she's being alleged and there's a whole court case that's coming with this, she just can't say.
Like how much do you admit? How much truth do you try to pour? How much transparent you try to be when there are legal ramifications based on what you say. So
exactly.
I
mean,
these are heavy allegations.
As long as she's able to show remorse and like care to the people that are alleging this, I think that's a huge step too. Because you never want to take away someone's experience. Maybe Lizzo didn't think she was being that bad if she didn't do this. But if someone is feeling it that way, she should literally. We're always telling them to still show that empathy.
Yeah. I think you have to be fair as well because. Again, we've seen allegations come out before on all types of people.
Yes.
And, we have to let the situation play its way out. I saw a poll or a question on social media saying, well, is Lizzo still our girl or not when it comes to, repping her?
And it's too early to say.
I think it's still too early to say. We probably shouldn't be condemning people so early when we don't have all the facts.
Exactly.
Cancel culture, it's like as soon as it come up, it's like, we're done. We're done with you. And I agree, we do need to
But people pick and choose how quickly they want to be done with people. And that's a whole other conversation too. So
yes, I just had that conversation with someone about a whole different celebrity I won't bring up, but yeah. Anyway,
I love doing these off the cuff because I'm going to pass this note to our producer today. It's the run of show. No, I'm just kidding. But no. She keeps us together, y'all. I'm telling y'all, she keeps us together. So let's talk about what else has been in the news this week. Producer Bay, we talked about this in our meeting this week.
Mm-hmm.
Cardi B.
What?
Oh, I have some things to say about that. I love when things drop about
like a mic drop.
I love when one angle or something drops and I'll be like, and then another angle drop and I'll be like, oh, wait a second, I might need to chill. So you know what happened?
I didn't know what you said.
Cardi B.
The
microphone throwing situation.
The microphone throwing, the microphone drop.
Yes.
But apparently she has gotten off she's gotten off free on the battery charge. We saw that she was at a concert where a fan had threw some water on her on stage and she took offense to it and threw her microphone at an audience member. But the twist to the story is
earlier in the show she was seen shaking her butt, telling the audience to throw water on her because she was hot. So that was
maybe she wasn't hot anymore.
I was about to say that was earlier in the show.
So
I don't need the water now.
I won't say earlier in the show. I'll say before she started the film. She was getting the water thrown on her on one side of the stage. The guy was throwing water on her. She was like, throw it in my butt, whatever, I'm hot. Then the song started. She walked to the other side of the stage, and then the young lady threw the water, and she got offended through the mic at her. After it was all said and done, she was like, I told y'all to throw it on my behind, not in my face and in my hair. And
are you supposed to control water?
I think she was a little confused because I've been to concerts and I've been in front row and I've gotten sprayed with water, champagne, and it is a part of culture. And I don't know how I feel about her.
This is something new to me.
I don't want to know.
I get my hair under
certain rap concerts. Certain artists who have like high intense music, it gets like that, and they get to throw stuff back at them.
You want me throwing stuff? You gotta be throwing some money at me.
Find me in the not some money. Find me backstage or on the booth.
Let me find out I'm throwing damn
champagne on my head.
Stop it. Coming up, we're talking with the one and only Jessica Care Moore. Also, we want to hear from you. Send us your comments and feedback. Hashtag Finally Fried DET. You're watching Finally Friday, and guess who we got a chance to talk to recently? The one and only Cheryl Underwood,
Yes. Comedic
comedian,
legend.
yes, and CBS daytime talk show host. She talked about her time in Detroit. She loves coming here, and I had a pleasure being able to talk to her recently, and she is hilarious. But she's still doing her thing, though. She wants to be back to the Death County and how she started and how people really got to know her. Talk about cancel culture for a full interview on tap next week. But here's a little preview. We got to know
How's Detroit doing?
Detroit is doing well. It's been on a renaissance comeback after our bankruptcy 10 years ago this year.
But see, I've been hanging out in Detroit long before back when Coleman Young was. Oh, well then, yeah, if you want to record everything.
We'll talk about it.
No, we talk about it. Coleman Young.
Okay. So you've been hanging out in Detroit.
Listen to me. Okay, we can't tell this story, but way back. Detroit, my spot.
Way
back.
back.
And then I used to go to Inkster.
Okay.
A club called the Stardust.
Okay.
Best food in the world.
Inkster in the building?
Yes.
So what was your favorite hangout spots in Detroit?
Well, I like the after hours because you really get to talk to both sides of Detroit, and you really get to talk. You get to talk to the movers, the shakers, the politicians, and the different side of the world.
Okay.
Let's say that.
The different sides of the world. I love how you put that.
All right, so Cheryl is definitely, I love her. She is very hilarious. So catch more of Cheryl Underwood in our full interview in piece on our website next week at MichiganChronicle.com. Look at the ladies today. I love this view.
I'm surrounded by beautiful women. Right, I'm straight to man. You getting hate mail? No. Okay.
But we are honored to have the one and only Jessica Care Moore in the building.
Thank you.
So, talk to us about what's been going on.
All the things.
I'm not busy. Just got done doing the 19th annual Black Women Rock concert. Been doing it 19 years.
Yeah.
This time at the Detroit Institute of Arts. Normally we're at the Charles H. Wright annually, supporting Black women in rock and roll. It was amazing. We sold out the DOT.
Yeah.
And next year I'm getting ready. I'm already in pre-production for the 20th anniversary. So we want this festival to turn into a week-long event, 3-day mini rock camp for girls. We want to have workshops about healing and everything that has to do with being a Black woman entrepreneur in the entertainment business. So not just artists who are in front of the mic, but the women who are behind the scenes. So I'm busy, you know.
We see you.
I just saw you at the 50th Hip Hop concert that was here in Detroit a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
Amazing.
Shout out to my brother Derek Kearney who makes sure that my voice was a part of that, you know, because women in hip hop, you know, I've been in recording with hip hop artists since Nas was my first recording in 1999. I was just with Nas in Napa at the Blue Note Festival that Robert
Very cool.
and Dave Chappelle did it. So performing with Talib and Madlib, but I got to see Nas. I hadn't seen him in many years, and I was like, you know, you were the first. I recorded with a lot of MCs since then. I was like, he was like, let them know, you know. And that was 99. So I've been part of the culture, but I was part of the culture here too. So I'm excited that y'all said Slum Village. I was like, okay.
Yes, we got Slum Village.
You're part of the
got my
culture.
starts in Detroit first.
Yes.
Right? But you
We
know,
can talk about when you went to New York and became the
1995.
sensation of winning five
Apollo.
at the Apollo, winning 5 straight competition shows in a row. But going back to Black Girls Rock, because we do have some
Black
video.
women.
I'm sorry, Black women.
And it's
rock.
actually we changed our names because it's tied to that. So we're Daughters of Betty, which is the slow show has been for Betty Davis, and she passed away last year. So we're Daughters of Betty, powered by Black Women Rock. So Daughters of Betty is a little more mysterious, and people go like, "Well, who's Betty?"
Gotta go research.
It's an amazing hook,
Yeah.
and you're good for that.
I think there's some
Yeah.
pictures and video from the show as well.
Everybody's super fine. Oh yeah, Militia Vox.
Yes.
That's what we look like.
Incredible.
This is when you see Black women in front of the mic and also behind the scenes. My entire production team is Black women. We're Black women who love each other, who love on each other. So we're not really a good reality show because we're actually Black women who support each other.
That's what we need, though.
I know.
And it's crazy that you
Funky
say
and bright and vibrant.
I know
and
what we
sexy.
need.
I
Yeah.
love this segment all day.
thanks.
Thank you,
Yeah.
And you actually won an award this year too.
It's been
you probably won a
award
number.
season.
Award season. That's what I love. It's been award season
it, okay?
I won the
Much
the Legend Award from Detroit Public School
Yes,
Alumni
I
Association.
saw that.
That's
I was
an
there.
important one for me.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm a Frank Cody High School graduate.
Hey.
Joy Road.
Yeah.
Joy Road. Oh, that must be the West Side.
West
It's the
Side. I was just about to say it. He already
Oh,
knows.
the West Side.
Yeah, so he always knows.
Listen, I dated brothers on the East, though. You know, they have the nice Impalas and things.
Oh,
See,
nice.
we give something good.
Fine.
You know?
And they tall. They two brothers. So
Oh,
6'5" and tall.
Another segment.
From the East Side.
I've been on the wrong side.
Yeah, listen, no, I'm kidding. But yeah, I went to Cody. I'm proud of being from Detroit Public School, and that Black Box Theater in Cody High School changed my life. My theater coach, drama, Susan Story, we had drama then, we had Black Box Theater, we had art in the schools, then we had music in the schools. And so I'm a big advocate for like art in schools, which we don't have it the way we used to.
Yeah.
And our babies deserve it. You know,
Andre and our art kids, we graduated from Detroit School of Art, so we
yeah, that's
are
what my
very-
baby is.
Yeah.
King, shout out to my son King. He's at PSA, he's a music major. You know,
So we had the privilege and honor to grow up in a high school that champion arts, but that's not everywhere.
It's not
it should be every school should be a
Yes.
Detroit School of the Arts. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
Every school should have core subjects, and they should all have art
yes.
and music. Even engineers and doctors need to paint.
All of
Need to
that.
write poetry. It's a balanced education, but that's a whole.
Yeah, because a lot of us end up doing it, but we don't have a space that's like either a safe space to do it or
That's
like
right.
we're being forced. It's just because I was an artsy kid, but I didn't go to an art school.
At school,
Yeah.
right?
So it was just like I drew at home. I wrote in my journal at
Wow.
home. I did these things. Like my parents were very much, into
Into
those
the
arts,
arts,
but
Yes.
it wasn't school based. It
Yeah, it
wasn't
wasn't
something like
curriculum
it wasn't in the
It needs
curriculum.
to
Yeah.
be.
Like I
It's
played
a
instruments.
necessary
all-
outlet. It's a
Absolutely.
necessary
It's very
outlet.
necessary.
One thing you've been up to lately is I love the Pure Michigan.
He has been
Oh.
raving about this Pure
Thank
Michigan.
you.
I love it too, but he's
Thank
been
you.
raving
I
about
appreciate
it.
It's been amazing.
I
People walking
love
up
it.
to me on the street. And so I was really intentional when I got this contract with Pure Michigan because, Tim Allen's been the voice for like, I don't know, like decades,
Yeah.
right? And they wanted something authentic and different that represented the city in a different way. I think a Black woman poet is a good person to do that,
Yes.
who's from the city and loves the city, still lives here and is a part of the community here. But I was very intentional. Like I was supposed to do one day of shooting, and me and shout out to my friend Stephen McGee, who's the director and who shot the piece. So we worked on a couple other things in the past, Move Here, Move the World, and we've done some other work
Yes,
together. And
I
Stephen's
remember that
just a great human being, and I pushed for him to work with me because I knew he would give opportunities for other Black and brown shooters and young ones because we have them in the city and they don't always get the calls. And so me and Steven, we know how to storytell together. But telling a Detroit story is easy for me. It's like it's a love letter to Detroit, and I wanted us to be in it. Like a lot of times, I don't know if you've seen past Pure Michigan. I don't know if you're looking for yourself in those ads, but now people are walking up to me like I never saw myself in the Pure Michigan ad until now.
Yeah.
And so it's been really incredible.
We love it.
And I ain't done. We're working on more seasons.
I'm so happy that you said that because you're such a great storyteller and you're such an amazing wordsmith. I have to ask you, if you had to describe Detroit in just one word, I know you can describe it in many, but if you had to just pick one word to describe Detroit, what would you pick?
Ooh,
Wow.
That's deep.
Grit.
Oh,
Brit.
yes,
Yeah.
I agree.
Grit.
I love
I
that.
agree.
I think that's what makes us different from like even the artists in other places. Like, in New York, there's like when I moved to New York, there's 1,000 places to read a poem. Here, I was reading poems at hair shows. I was reading poems at floods.
There you go.
I was reading poems
The culture.
everywhere,
Yeah.
like wherever the people were. And I went to New York, I was like, wow, this is amazing. You guys have like cafes and poetry stuff. Now we have more of that now, but when I was coming up, there were no spaces. That's why I know Slum Village. I mean, I was in the hip hop scene here, so I was like breaking through. Like I was a poet on the mic.
Yes.
So we don't have but that grit and that grind, that thing that Black artists and Black working people have, I bring that into my art, and I brought it to Brooklyn when I moved there.
Yeah.
So I was unstoppable in New York, to be honest. I came there, I was
Yes.
Because that hustle
this is like
culture.
rap.
That's gonna be fun. Okay, with you.
this was like a whole bunch of people that I could
Yeah.
touch. And so the Apollo, I went to very humbly, to be honest. And but also that was a non-traditional poetry stage. I wasn't scared of it. I was like, it's Black people in the audience. 125th Street, that's Harlem, that's Detroit. I got that.
And winning 5 straight competition shows,
That's
which
crazy.
really just definitely
And
puts
Steve
you on the map.
Steve Harvey and all of them, Kiki Shepard, Ray Chu and the crew. Like I've known all of them for years now, and they were just excited as I was.
Yeah.
They couldn't believe I was winning. I was like, yo, I won again, and I never lost. They just retired me. I was coming out getting dressed for my 6th win, and they said, no, we're gonna just retire you. And I was like, what? Because they didn't know what to do with me.
Oh
Listen,
my goodness.
because
Hey,
this
you know
wasn't
why you won't
fair.
shop?
Give someone else a chance just to
Yeah,
get amazing.
I listen. There was some brothers singing the Temptations, and I was rooting for them.
Mhm.
I was like, oh, they gonna win. They singing the Temptations. They was
Yes.
brothers. It was beautiful. They were older brothers then, so they're probably not with us anymore. But I remember like really like cheering them on.
Yeah.
I'm about to beat the Temptations.
Right.
And a rapping dog. I mean, that was my entrance there. Ed Lover, Dr. Dre had bought the rapping dog on, and that's how I got on Hot 97 for the first time. I was like, they can bring the rapping dog on, bring the poet on.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, so it's been a journey, but Detroit and being rooted here, being from, it's a great place to be from. I'm glad that I've raised my son King here. He's 16 years old, and he's got a year left, and then he'll be off to college somewhere. But I think him coming back here and being raised here has gonna put some. He's also makes music and is a music producer as well, and he's doing great things. And so, but being from here, it's just that you can go anywhere.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm not scared of nothing.
Mhm.
Nowhere.
And you
I
know,
love
you've been
that.
involved in movies, and we have to get into it more,
Yeah.
unfortunately, at another time. But
It's okay. I got
I
my
do-
feature film is coming to
Yes,
my
let's talk about that.
What do you
Look
have
here
with
too.
you?
And I brought you shirts. Look,
Yes, look.
It's Black Girl Juice.
Yeah.
This is one of the poems that I did on the Apollo. So I brought it for
I love that.
about Black Girl
Thank
Juice
you.
t-shirt.
And I love
Yeah.
it. It's my
Yeah.
Black
favorite
Girl
color.
Juice. Is it okay? Good. Yes. Black
Love it,
Girl Juice.
love
Gotta
it.
wear this.
Yes.
What would you say is different as we close off here? What would you say is different about, or how would you describe Detroit now as far as culture
Wow.
compared to when you were, because there was a time in Detroit when, artists and creatives like yourself,
Yeah.
the messaging that they were putting out, you guys were change makers.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so how would you describe Detroit then and Detroit now?
I mean, Detroit's changed a lot, but we were neighborhood based.
Mhm.
We were about our neighborhoods then, and I would like to see more of that.
Mhm.
I like to see more neighborhood based change. Like I want Wi-Fi on Joy Road. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I mean. Great that the building up downtown and all that. That's cool. Coffee is cool. Bike lanes. I ride a bike. Whatever. But but it's like, are we taking care of our people? And are we making sure we're keeping the city affordable? Like that's what I care about. It was black growing up.
Black is black,
It's not as
black.
black as it was, but we still the majority.
Yeah.
And so when I go in spaces I don't see black people, it's a problem for me.
Mhm.
So if you have a new coffee house or a new restaurant and brown and black people aren't inside your rrestaurant, then you're not doing something right.
Yeah, that's right.
Because nothing cool happening unless we're there.
Oh,
Especially
And
in a
that's
city
on-
that is over 80% black.
Yeah. No, for
85%
sure.
black. Finally, Fridays is so refreshing. We appreciate that. Jessica care more. I would love to be a
I
part
gotta
of
come
the
back.
show.
Oh, you
Yes,
definitely
you
come
do.
back.
I
You
got
do.
an album
This-
dropping. I should talk about
Oh my
it.
goodness, this album
Yes.
coming.
It's coming this month, and I don't know the name of it is it's Rock and Roll NI66A, and me and Stephanie Cushion is our Rock and Roll records. So,
I love
Stephanie.
Wow.
Yeah,
That
get
is-
Stephanie on the
That
show.
woman
Yes.
is the epitome
powerhouse.
of rock and roll, a
Yes.
powerful voice.
Yes.
I saw her at Soulful Sounds, and I
Yes.
haven't stopped following her since.
She's
Jessica
Yes.
care more.
Yes.
This is home for you. Okay?
Yeah,
Welcome
you tell us.
back,
Okay,
okay?
Part two,
Yeah.
part two.
Part two is coming.
Thank you.
Hey, y'all, look, we got a new neighbor across the street. I had a chance to visit. And
I really would. I'm
our-
always looking out the
Yes, it's the former
Literally.
Detroit Seafood Market.
All right.
But Fix It Soul Kitchen is coming to the D. And our senior writer here at Michigan Chronicle, Ebony J.J. Curry, got a chance to check it out. Take a look.
JJ Curry, senior writer here at Michigan Chronicle. And today, I must tell you, NBA star Kevin Johnson has welcomed his third home for Fixin' Soul Kitchen, right here in the heart and soul of Detroit, Paradise Valley, where Black excellence once reigned supreme and is rising back once again. After 30 years of being here, and now you're really seeing like the bustling of Paradise Valley come back. Tell me the impact and the significance of that for you.
I moved downtown. We had 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 employees working, and you leave here at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the evening, and it would be empty. To see now all the hustle and bustle going on, people coming back downtown, and all of the development that's going on.
And I think the people in Detroit, again, they know that nobody would come into Detroit unless they could bring it. So I can't come here unless I thought our food was going to be top notch, and I think people would be very proud. Yeah, if all goes well, we'll open at the end of the year in December. Yeah, when we come in, we got like 5 core values. First one is delicious food. Then we got on-point service, tight operations, spotless stores. And the 5th one is community love. So when we come in a community, we're gonna have to do more in the restaurant. I just don't know what it is yet. So we're trying to figure it out. We want to get this off the ground, do it the right way, and then figure out how we can have a little bit more influence.
All right. So a quick change. But yeah, so there are neighbor right across the street coming soon, Fixin' Soul Kitchen. Get you some chicken.
We can't have too much soul food in Detroit. Somebody said, we need another soul food restaurant.
As long as it's mac and cheese.
For real. So I love that. But joining us right, Jessica Kimmer was cool too.
Oh my God. Infectious.
Yes,
Literally.
infectious. Y'all got shirts and everything.
You mad? You don't got no black girl juice. Come on.
Karen Ferguson says,
Jessica is the truth when it comes to Detroit, and is. Yes.
and is.
She carried it on her back.
Thanks, Karen.
We appreciate
Absolutely. So joining us right now is James Moses, a
Thank you.
actor, producer, and so much more.
Yeah.
And welcome.
Thank you. I'm on strike. Welcome to McDonald's. Can I take your order?
Listen, as you should be, because I am so happy that you guys are standing for something. I hope it comes to an end soon and you guys are able to know to negotiate. But what has that been like?
Yeah, it's you know, when you strike, everybody's supposed to strike, right?
Mhm.
So they put in this provision that if you did this movie below a certain amount of money, you didn't have to strike. So Viola Davis cut that out because she was on schedule to do something like that. She said, if it's supposed to be a strike, everybody should be striking.
Yeah.
So, you know, the real underlying reasons are residuals in AI. I think it's more residuals because before the pandemic, you could stream something and you had this infrastructure already in place, and then streaming went out of control. You know, and streaming started making all this money, but we were still at this base of residuals. So, you know, that doesn't work for people. And then AI, they want to take people's images and use them forever.
Oh my goodness.
You know?
Yeah, it's like technology is definitely disrupting a lot of different industries. And who knew that we'll be in an age to talk about, you know, rather than getting your product or, you know, movie or show on a movie screen or on television now, everybody's got a phone, everybody's streaming, and now you're talking about AI. And
If
now
I
that's
get another
taking away.
AI chat GPT press release, I will scream.
But I mean, on
You
one
said you
hand,
tired of
look,
it.
on one hand, I think we should celebrate the innovative ways and how this type of technology helps make our lives more efficient, but it also disrupts and takes away people's jobs or pay, you know. And so I get it. The writers, actors, they're coming for the money since it seems like the industry in Hollywood, the executives get it all at the top.
Right. They get their residual.
Okay.
No matter what, you know, like Bob Iger, he got a $54 million check, you know, doing all this.
Executive for ABC.
Netflix executives get, you know, they get their money. And it's really about, can we all have a way to make a living and be, you know, have living wages, you know? Because if they're just getting 54, and some actors get a lot of money, $30 million, whatever, but it has to be a living wage, right? And that's one of the things that I was talking to my man Vaughn, shout out to Vaughn, is that I see the disparity in pay here. And, you know, people come up to me, man, I said, how much you get for your movie? I put none in your pockets, but how much you get for your movie? He said, like, I got like, you know, my quote is $350 a day. What? You're working for $350 a day? $100 a day? I just had lunch for $350.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right? And so the rates vary in the country. You go down south, you know, there's a scale, and it's not like the Hollywood scale. So there has to be some continuity about all, you know, the acting and the entertainment. And even the streaming with the money, the streaming with the music.
Yes. Yeah, like you said, it's disrupting a lot of different industries.
Isn't it? But it doesn't. What and how you negotiate also plays a part into, you know, what you make or the benefits that you get, or for many actors and writers who are assigned to unions. Isn't it a part of union leadership, advocating, and which is what they're doing, advocating for the best interests of their writers or actors? But what is negotiating how does that play a part in what you get or what you don't get?
Well, in every situation, there's always a king or a queen, right? So the king or the queen don't go to give up everything they have, right? They're the institution in which things flow through. I think the King Charles in England is one of the richest families on the planet.
Right.
And they got poverty over there too.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's just like this business that we're in. There are people who make a whole lot of money, and there are people who make nothing. Right?
Yeah.
So it's got to somehow sort of equalize or balance to, okay, I get it that ABC is world renowned, Netflix is world renowned, and I expect them to make, what they're going to make because they put out the infrastructure for it, right? But you got to be fair about this.
Come on.
And to your point about the them having their own, agencies or people that are helping them do these contracts, things have changed so quickly.
Right.
So they may have thought that it was going in a certain direction, and now they got to go back to the drawing board
Yeah.
because streaming changed in literally a few years.
Yeah,
That
that's it.
changes what it looks like and what it feels like and how much money is going to it.
So, how long y'all gonna be on strike? Because this means that I've got less to watch on
Okay.
Netflix.
We watching the reruns.
Well, you know what? I will strike now. I'll see you later. I love you. I'm gonna start right now.
Well, the great thing is, prior to the strike, you were involved in an incredible movie that also talks about the powers that be and things that's going on. They cloned Tyrone. Let's talk about fun times prior to the strike. What was that experience?
And I have to tell you, I did the ADR for Jamie Foxx. And the reason the movie, Jamie got sick, and then the movie got pushed back. Because the movie we did what we did almost 2.5 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah. So Jewel was the director. I was ADR. So ADR is like I duplicate people's voices and how they sound, but I still get residuals and whatever. It's a great field to get into.
Yeah. Interesting.
Sorry.
He was just talking about doing
you can tell you a voiceover story. So I do this thing. I don't know, February, whatever. Casey's Pizza. Whatever. Okay. Do it. Don't hear anything. Right. I get home, maybe last week or something. Get to the mailbox. It's a check for $7,000 in there.
Okay. I like stuff like that.
Let me take another vacation. Let me get there.
I'm calling my agent.
There's some things we need to work out.
Yeah. And that's the thing I try to tell people is, I think Jay-Z said it best, or one of the versions. I'm not a businessman.
I'm a businessman. Okay.
You better say that.
Words to live by.
No,
literally.
So on this point about voiceovers, I'll just say, James Moses Black in theaters everywhere Friday.
Hey, not the audition tape.
Right.
Wait a second. Let me show you what I can do.
Yeah. So you're in Detroit. You've been in Detroit this week. You've been talking with some young people, right?
Young people. I did a camp in Birmingham, Alabama. It was like 8 to 17-year-olds. These kids, my friend Megan, she organized the camp. She's been doing it for like 20 years. But these kids were on like TV, films.
Wow.
And I'm like, man, I gotta figure out a way to bring this to Detroit. And not for the money, but for the exposure.
Yeah.
Right? Because when her camp started off, it was small. But now you see these kids in the MCU universe. You see them on Hallmark, you see them. They're everywhere. These little kids, and I trained them. So
fair enough.
as they should be.
Right.
So I've been in town just talking about acting and the business of acting and being an actor. There's a slight drop off in terms of production value here. And everything's Tubi, and that's cool. You can make money on Tubi. But I always tell people, what's the end game? Right? Tubi can be for you next CBS, NBC, Netflix, whatever. But your production value has to increase. Your training has to get better. You know what I mean? There's some people who think they already made it. And I had somebody come up to me, and he's telling me everything he's done. And I'm going, you want to drink, man?
You don't think it could be? You don't think it could be considered like its own genre and kind of stay how it is? And are you just saying the people that move through it should, move through it?
No. How are you with complacency?
I was about to say, yeah.
You know, if you look at movies that are actually movies, there's a level of talent.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm not saying what you do now, but you got to increase your talent.
Yeah.
You gotta get better each
There's a
time.
skill set for what is, I mean, this is art. This is a real art.
It's art, man.
Yeah.
And you know, and I tell people all the time, man, it's your brand.
Yes.
Paint it well.
That's real. Paint it well.
Paint it well.
That's real.
I needed to
I
hear
like
that
that
today. I needed to hear that today. You don't even know. I needed to hear that today.
We got Angie Sanders making her comments.
Great interview. Love his energy and presence.
Yes.
We do. Exactly.
Angie Sanders, holla at me.
Hey, okay. I love it.
Hey,
Finally Friday, it goes down.
She may just be upstairs.
Matchmaking.
So let's talk about you know, so we talked about They Clone Tyrone, and you know, you talked about working with Jamie Foxx, and we were so thankful that he's really great health. Other projects you got in the cap.
So within the last couple of years, did Black and Blue. I did a movie Renfield with Nicolas Cage, Alfina. We did that in New Orleans. I got something on deck. But again, we're on strike, so I'm not supposed to be talking about this stuff. So,
fair.
Right.
So it ain't happening.
He gonna tell us off camera.
It ain't happening.
You know,
it ain't happening to the money, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
but for me, well, I cook a hell of a pizza.
First it was McDonald's, now we making pizza.
You make pasta?
I pasta everything.
Clearly, he's into culinary. He
Yeah.
got a $7,000 check for that.
If you weren't doing what you're doing right now, what would your career be?
That's a good question. I think I would be a school teacher in the arts.
Wow. I
We were
love
just talking
that.
about Jessica more. We need more arts in the classroom.
Right.
Y'all got a link.
That's what I would do. That's what I would do.
Especially more like Black men in the education field for those K through 12. Yeah, that would have been awesome. Maybe.
Yeah.
Hey,
That's another lane.
you know, every time I come away from the kids camp in Alabama, I'm always like excited.
Energized.
Yeah. My son is 8. And he wants to get in film. He wants to be a film director. He wants to make movies, but I can't find anything for his age group that can help him hone in on those skills. So it's definitely a void.
Yeah. And again, a shout out to my man Vaughn, who one of the people who brought me here. We're trying to bring that camp here.
I love it.
Please
Yeah.
do.
Well, please tell us.
Please
Please
do.
We got kids that are readily like
And
waiting.
it's only 4 days because we ain't babysitting your kid all summer. You know what I mean? 5 days. I said 4, but I meant 5.
How can people learn more?
So Vaughn, what was the number? It's 313-444
313-444
0060.
0060. All right.
60.
We'll put more of the information on our website too at MichiganChronicle.com.
Can you do the number one more time?
Yeah. 849. Y'all looking at me like that ain't.
I'm
Sorry. 313-444-0060. D4 Productions.
Okay.
Letitia McIntosh.
Yes.
The other career is comedy.
Comedy,
You ain't even want me to get started on that one.
Comedy and culinary.
Thanks so much, James Moses Black. We so appreciate
y'all having me. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
And for more information, we'll put it up on our website at MichiganChronicle.com. Thanks for stopping into Finally
Thank
Friday.
you for having me, man. I appreciate
Absolutely.
it.
You know, it's 50 years of hip hop, and coming up next, we'll be talking with Slum Village, their collaboration with Puma, and also we talk with designer. We'll be talking with designer Rick Williams, who joined us in studio as well with them. But guess what? I had a chance to catch up with L.A. Reid.
You've been talking to everybody, okay? Andre Ash.
We got his thoughts about 50 years of hip hop. We'll take it now, and we'll be back on the other side.
Honoring 50 years of hip hop, and and where we've come today in the music industry, celebrating hip hop.
I think it's beautiful, man. I mean, hip hop is the most dominant force in music and culture that we've ever seen, ever that I can think of. And if somebody begs to differ, let's have the argument. But I don't think anything is more impactful than hip hop.
JJ Curry, senior writer here at Michigan Chronicle. And today, I must tell you, NBA star Kevin Johnson has welcomed his third home for Fixin' Soul Kitchen. right here in the heart and soul of Detroit, Paradise Valley, where Black excellence once reigned supreme and is rising back once again. After 30 years of being here, and now you're really seeing like the bustling of Paradise Valley come back. Tell me the impact and the significance of that for you.
I moved downtown. We had 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 employees working, and you leave here at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the evening, and it would be empty. To see now all the hustle and bustle going on, people coming back downtown, and all of the development that's going on.
And I think the people in Detroit, again, they know that nobody would come into Detroit unless they could bring it. So I can't come here unless I thought our food was going to be top notch, and I think people would be very proud. Yeah, if all goes well, we'll open at the end of the year in December. Yeah, when we come in, we got like 5 core values. First one is delicious food. Then we got on-point service, tight operations, spotless stores. The 5th one is community love. So when we come into a community, we're gonna have to do more in the restaurant. I just don't know what it is yet. So we're trying to figure it out. We want to get this off the ground, do it the right way, and then figure out how we can have a little bit more influence.
How's Detroit doing?
Detroit is doing well. It's been on a renaissance comeback after our bankruptcy 10 years ago. This year.
But see, I've been hanging out in Detroit long before back when Coleman Young was. Well then, yeah, if you want to record everything.
We'll talk about it.
No, we talk about it. Coleman Young.
Okay. So you've been hanging out in Detroit.
Listen to me. Okay, we can't tell this story, but way back. Detroit, my spot.
Way
back. And then I used to go to Inkster.
Okay.
A club called the Stardust.
Okay.
Best food in the world.
Inkster in the building?
Yes.
So what was your favorite hangout spot?
Well, I like the after hours because you really get to talk to both sides of Detroit, and you really get to talk. You get to talk to the movers, the shakers, the politicians, and the different side of the world.
Okay.
Let's say that.
The different sides of the world. I love how you put that.
What up, though? Welcome back to Finally Friday. It's your girl, Lynzee Mychael, multimedia journalist. And as you can see, the seats are rearranged a little bit, and for good reason. As you know, all year we've been talking about 50 years of hip hop. And right now, I am in complete awe because I am sitting with the iconic group Slum Village, who will be talking about their collaboration with Puma alongside the visionary and visual artist who's behind the whole drop, Rick Williams. So thanks for coming in. We got T3, we got Young RJ. What's going on?
Thank you for having us.
What up, though?
So we're here.
I am fanning out. I brought this. And I have to tell you guys a quick funny story. Last Friday, I went to Spotlight. And every time I go, I have to get a record. And I have been looking for this for the longest. And this is before I even knew about the drop. And I bought it. And then I found out about the drop. And I'm like, this was manifested. It was a reason. So we got to definitely get this signed by everybody.
Okay,
but man, what does this feel like, this moment, to have this whole thing just come full circle?
It feels great. Fantastic. Volume 1 and 2. So yeah, it feels great right now. Shout out to everybody that made this happen. You know what I'm saying? But this the guy, he the visionary that brought all the design together. And you know, we made a classic record back in the day, and now it's resurging with this sneaker, man. So Puma, you know, we having fun with it.
So let's talk about the design. That's important, and obviously we're all storytellers here. You still tell stories visually. You guys tell stories with the music. And what story is this shoe telling?
So it started out with I have this collection that we do called Detroit Inspires the World, and that signifies my partnership with Puma. So we try to tell Detroit stories, or give different things through this project to the rest of the world that can kind of further our story. And this album was something that was dear to me. You know, just coming up. When I was in college, I would come down to Cafe Mahogany and the DJs would spin it there. I would go to St. Andrews for 3 floors of fun and hear house shoes spinning. Then I would go there and watch the guys actually perform upstairs. And thinking about all of that and the nostalgia of that time and what that time meant, I just was like, I had the opportunity to tell a story from our hip hop, but it comes through my lens, so it had to be something that resonated with me.
Yeah.
So I took the guys, called my guys, and put it together. So the design features a few things.
Let's talk about it.
For this campaign. You said you got this at Spotlight.
Yes, I did.
Just last weekend?
Just last week.
So in June, all the artwork that was in there was my artwork.
Wow.
So the artwork that you saw, and there was pieces that shouted out Slum Village, there were pieces that shouted out Dilla and Dilla Time, because those were things that really inspired me. The show is called Hip Hop Raised Me. It's up until the 12th. But the shoe features the camo that was on all of those pieces, and the gradient, which is also on the murals there's like 6 murals in the city right now that feature this gradient camo. And 2 of them were done for this campaign. So I encourage everybody to find those.
Absolutely. Oh.
But
we're gonna get a shoe so we can get a close up of all of the details and the features.
And the tongue right here, you pull the tongue up, that's actually the grid of like the foundation of the city where Campus Martians is. So that's the whole tongue is like a map of that. And then when you look at the inside, it has the Slum Village logo and Fantastic Volume 2, and then it has the Puma cat jumping over our gear.
Wow.
The inside. We're finishing out with the details of the there's an extra pair of laces, and then you have 2 toggles. One of my favorite shoes coming up had this lace lock. So now I try and incorporate it with some of my other designs, but you have the SV logo on one side and then the Distinct Life gear on the other.
You were not playing with this design. How long did it take you to kind of think of this? You were not playing around.
I mean, everything that I've done and everything that I do when it comes to design and designing products, you know, in our community, it's always been important to me to understand the details and what's behind things.
Well, young RJ, I want to talk to you because the legacy of Slum Village is so important. And I know that you weren't on this album, but I want to know what this album does, what it means to you and being a part of Slum Village now, you know, as this legacy continues to push through the city and around the world.
That's the start of my career.
Okay.
The first national release that I produced on was Climax. Along
my favorite song on the album.
So for me, you know what I'm saying, it signifies my beginning, my start. It also signifies me holding it down for Dylan Bartan, who's not here to see the release of this show. You know what I'm saying? But we keeping them at the forefront and letting people know that, you know, none of this is possible without Dylan Bartan. And this guy right here, T3. So I'm just filling in the role for my big brothers today.
And doing an amazing job at it. And T3, I just have to ask you because this album is so significant just to hip hop, period. And it's just a feeling and a sound that is really hard to describe, and it has longevity. I just want to know what was going on in the studio when you guys made something like this. Like, what was the relationship, the love? What was happening?
We had been together for 10 years already, just before that. So we had a camaraderie, and it was mostly jokes and comedy. Believe it or not, we used to just talk about each other a lot and joke on people, and so we just had fun, lots of fun making a record. You know what I'm saying? I know that sounds kind of corny fun, but that's what went into it. It's like, you know, we had that energy, we had that passion, and when we came out, we was able to get all the artists that we wanted to get, from Q-Tip and Busta, and the names go on, Pete Rock and all them. They all wanted to be a part of it, man. You know, so they came to Coney Gardens and actually sat in the basement with us and made some of these records. You know what I'm saying? So it was a crazy time, you know. That Slum Village was able to pioneer. So, man, like I said, 1 for Dilla, 10, you know what I'm saying, and the rest of the crew, man. I don't know where we would be without that. So that's definitely, it means a lot to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You have been doing an amazing job just keeping the legacy and the feel of Slum Village going, and we are all appreciative of that. So let's talk about today, 218 at 218. What's going on?
It's the meet and greet. You know what I'm saying? It's the meet and greet. We down there kicking it with the fans. We down there signing boxes, taking photos, talking and kicking it. Everybody should come down. You know what I'm saying? At least meet and greet. Get you a pair of shoes. Okay. Get you some of the shirts, merch.
Signing albums. Y'all signing albums? Okay. I'm just trying to make sure. Trying to make sure. And it sounds like it's gonna be some refreshments and some drinks and some fun.
That can happen. Yeah, a little bit of that.
A little slum. Gonna be playing because we know we gotta play this in. So before we go, because I know you guys gotta get there because we're all everybody got the Puma song, the whole crew. Oh my God. I just gotta ask, because I said it, what my favorite song off the album is. I gotta ask everybody, what is their favorite track off of this Fantastic Volume 2?
Well, they're all my babies, but if I had to pick one, if I had to be a favorite child, I would say probably Get This Money, probably, you know what I'm saying? Just because
a banger.
Yeah. Just because it was one of our first records where we kind of could floss a little bit and we was, you know, making the money. You know what I'm saying, at that time, and it felt good to be able to, you know, have money in my pocket because you know what I'm saying. We had came from a long way, so yeah, that record definitely resonates with me.
All right,
I'm gonna go with a song that we never performed.
Oh,
okay,
Eyes Up.
Eyes Up.
Okay,
Come on, Eyes Up.
Smooth track. Henry?
I think I would probably go with I probably would go with Get This Money, but since T already went with that, I'm gonna go with 2U40.
Okay, cool. I'm still going with Climax. That is my jam. Okay, so we're gonna rock. I didn't know how late it was. Look at this. Hey, finally Friday. So listen.
Having y'all in the studio, this has been great, y'all. And
amazing.
You know, this is Detroit centric. This is Detroit centric. Love it.
No. Okay, listen, guys. Today, 218 at 218. Come down, meet Slum Village. Check out the shoes. Buy the shoes. The tea. We need all of this. Yes. We need Detroit support. This is an iconic group who is getting their just due. Okay, we have to.
Can I ask you? Do you have size 15?
Oh. Shut.
Hey! We gonna work on it. We gonna work on it.
We might have to get some customs, something like that. Make a little shoe stuff. We gotta do something. You can get a t-shirt because I'm getting some of these. Yeah, so put me a size 9 off to the side. Now for me.
Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Finally, Friday in the building. We got the one and only Slum Village.
Slum Village.
And Rick Williams in the building as well, man. This has been great.
R.I.P. J Dilla, R.I.P. by 10. We are just, man, I'm on a cloud.
I love it.
Thank y'all.
See y'all.
Thanks so much for watching. And don't forget, if it's Friday,
it's finally Friday. Peace.